Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what?
Two Coldplay concert goers caught canoodling during the show at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts.
The executive at the center of a Kiss Cam controversy is stepping down.
It's interesting to think about the idea that if they had played it cool, then nobody would be talking about this today.
Just a routine Kiss Cam moment at Gillette Stadium during Coldplay's show on July 16th. But what flashed on the Jumbotron wasn't sweet or romantic. It was awkward, tense, and now unforgettable. The man on screen, Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, a billion-dollar tech company, sitting next to him smiling nervously. Kristen Kitt, his head of HR. Both high-profile, both married, not to each other.
He has 2 children, and it appears that they were caught in what appears to be an affair.
And then came the mic drop moment from Chris Martin himself. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. The crowd gasped, the internet exploded. What started as a grainy phone video turned into a cultural earthquake. Within hours, memes flooded social media. Commenters dissected their body language like it was a crime scene. Reddit theories, TikTok edits, X threads. Media outlets circled like sharks. Astronomer's top leadership had just been publicly exposed in the most literal sense, and the fallout came fast. By July 18th, both Kristen and Andy were placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation. The company gave no answers, just time-stamped damage control. Then came the real hits. Andy Byron resigned on July 19th. Kristen Kitt followed on July 24. Astronomer released a single-line press statement. Kristen Kitt has resigned from Astronomer, effective immediately. No quote, no accountability, just silent sand headlines. But behind that press release was a ripple effect no one could contain. The fan who captured the moment. The stunned families blindsided by betrayal. The corporate house scrambling for control. This wasn't just a workplace affair, it was a 15-second disaster that unraveled reputations, jobs, marriages, and illusions. Let's break it down. It didn't take months, it didn't even take weeks. This entire empire unraveled in less than 10 days. It began with a 16-second video, a quick pan from the Kiss Cam to 2 people who clearly didn't expect to be seen. And then boom, the timeline is brutal. July 16th, Coldplay concert, the infamous Jumbotron kiss. July 17th, the video hits TikTok. Millions of views by midnight. July 18th, both Kristen Kitt and Andy Byron are placed on leave. July 19th, Byron resigns as CEO. July 24th, Kristen follows quietly. Just like that, 2 cornerstones of a billion-dollar company were gone. No press conferences, no statements of remorse, no public explanations. Andy vanished. No apology, no comment, not even a strategic respect. Our privacy post. Kristen? Same silence. And let's be clear, silence speaks volumes, especially when your title is Chief People Officer. She wasn't just any executive, she was the HR gatekeeper, the values enforcer, the public-facing moral compass, and she said nothing. But the internet noticed something else. Photos surfaced of Kristen outside her Rye, New Hampshire home. She looked casual, no security, no PR team, just a light jacket, yoga pants, and one detail no one could ignore, no wedding ring. That missing band spoke louder than any quote. It wasn't just about job loss anymore. It was about a life unraveling. Insiders at Astronomer described the mood inside the company as shock and betrayal. Staff who once admired Kristen now whispered about hypocrisy. One employee said, "She gave a talk about integrity the week before the concert." The irony was almost cinematic, and yet, even as their careers crumbled, the silence remained. But behind that silence, a second betrayal was unfolding. Everyone talked about Andy's wife, Megan, her quiet dignity, her sudden retreat to Maine. But what about the man Kristen left behind? Yes, Kristen Kitt was married, still is, and her husband. Let's just say he's not someone you overlook. Andrew Kitt isn't just a spouse, he's a force. The CEO of Privateer Rum, a high-end spirits company with roots stretching back to the colonial days of New England. He's not flashy, not performative, but he's powerful. And he plays the long game. And until now, he's remained totally silent. No social posts, no statement. No public display of rage or heartbreak, but silence, in this case, isn't peace. It's precision. Because sources close to the couple say that just 48 hours after the video went viral, Andrew Kitt was back in the country and speaking with top-tier divorce lawyers in Boston. Let's pause here. This man isn't the type to send emotional texts. He's the type to schedule a strategy meeting. If Kristen's actions blindsided the world, they hit Andrew harder than anyone. Because he didn't just lose trust, he lost face. In a region where reputation is legacy, that's unforgivable. Court records confirm that Kristen previously divorced her ex-husband Kenneth Thornby in 2022. By March 2025, she and Andrew had already purchased a $2.2 million home together in Rye, New Hampshire. The paperwork suggests more than just romance. It suggests planning, power coupling, future building now. That house may soon become a legal battleground. No divorce filings yet, no public documents. But when whispers come from lawyers in Back Bay and Beacon Hill, you can bet this isn't speculation. It's preparation. And let's not forget, Andrew Kitt has everything to lose. His business, his reputation, his name, and he didn't ask for any of this. Kristen may have dodged the camera at that night, but she couldn't dodge the consequences, and when Andrew makes his move, it won't come with memes or sound bites. It'll come with receipts and possibly her name on court papers, because in Boston high society, betrayal doesn't always go viral. Sometimes it just costs you everything. Meet Grace Springer. Coldplay fan. Regular person, unintentional whistleblower. She didn't plan to change two lives. She just wanted to see herself on the stadium screen. Instead, her TikTok clip racked up 122 million views in under 48 hours. I wasn't trying to expose anyone, Grace said in interviews. I just hit record. She wasn't a journalist. She wasn't even trying to go viral, and she didn't make a cent. The video's not monetized, she explained, but I do feel bad, especially for Andy's wife. Still, Grace stands by her post. There were 60,000 people at that concert. I wasn't the only one recording, and she's right. It wasn't just the camera. It was what the camera caught. An awkward lurch, a guilt-laced glance, a corporate power couple combusting in real time, and once that clip hit TikTok, it hit a nerve. While the world laughed, two households collapsed. Meghan, Carrie Byron, Andy's wife, vanished from social media. First, she removed Byron's last name from her profiles. Then, she went silent, but not before users flooded her old posts with messages of solidarity. You deserved better. Protect your peace, Queen. She's now reportedly moved into a $2.4 million home in Kennebunk, Maine. Photos show friends arriving, groceries being delivered, the makings of a quiet rebuild. Meanwhile, Kristen was seen watering plants in her athleisure. No ring, no smile, just the eerie normalcy of life continuing after a bomb is dropped. While Kristen and Andy vanished from their LinkedIn pages and workplace profiles, the scandal wasn't just personal, it hit Astronomer at the core. Internally, employees were reeling. One insider told Tech Media, "We always knew they were close, but we never imagined that kind of close." Morale tanked, Slack channels were purged, whispers of favoritism from the past now resurfaced as full-blown accusations. Some staffers quietly began job hunting, fearing a brand collapse, and investors, watching from the sidelines, shifting uncomfortably, because Astronomer had just raised nearly $100 million, and now their headlines weren't about innovation, they were about infidelity. In a matter of days, Andy was out. Kristen was next. Pete DeJoy, the company's co-founder, stepped in as interim CEO. He tried to assure employees and partners that Astronomer would weather the storm. But the truth, a brand built on data and integrity, just lost both in one weekend. Here's the twist. No one saw coming. The person who broke this entire story wasn't a journalist, a whistleblower, or even a disgruntled employee. She was a fan. Grace Springer, just another Coldplay lover in a stadium of 65,000, had pulled out her phone during the Kiss Cam moment, hoping to get herself on screen. Instead, she captured two strangers and unknowingly set off a chain reaction that blew up a company and two marriages. She posted it to TikTok. No filter, no context, just a 16-second seatside view. By the next morning, the video had racked up millions of views within 48 hours. Over 100 million. Grace never expected it to explode. She didn't even monetize it. "I feel bad for the families," she later said, "but if I hadn't uploaded it, someone else would have." And she's probably right, because when a camera catches more than just a moment, when it captures a secret, the internet will always take notice, and it won't let go. As the dust settled, it became clear this wasn't just a workplace scandal, it was a human one. The thing about public downfalls is that they start loud, but they end in whispers. No headlines, just broken routines and rearranged lives. Meghan Byron quietly filed paperwork to remove Andy's name from her legal documents. Kristen and Andrew stopped appearing at local charity events. Invitations stopped arriving. Friends distanced themselves. and no one asked questions because they already knew the answers. Insiders say Kristen has been spending more time alone. She canceled appearances, skipped speaking engagements. Even former colleagues who once praised her HR seminars began scrubbing LinkedIn endorsements. Meanwhile, Andrew tightened his circle. The CEO of a legacy brand doesn't react. He recalibrates. His team stopped media requests cold, and quietly, without spectacle, he began repositioning Privateer Rum's branding. The message: focus on legacy, not gossip. But the damage was done. This was no longer about a kiss, it was about loyalty, about what happens when the people who promised to protect the brand become its biggest liability. And in the end, silence doesn't save reputations, it buries them. This story didn't go viral just because it was dramatic, it went viral because it touched something deeper, something too many people have lived through in private. Cheating isn't just messy, it's destructive. It doesn't only hurt the people involved, it wrecks trust, families, reputations. It creates a ripple effect that no apology can undo. And when it's done by people in power, the damage multiplies. One decision made in secret can become a very public disaster. For Andy Byron and Kristen Kitt, a 16-second moment caught on a stadium camera exposed a much bigger betrayal, one that cost careers, shattered to homes, and dragged their loved ones into a media firestorm they never asked for. The truth is, cheating isn't just wrong because it breaks a promise, it's wrong because it destroys trust, the foundation of every relationship, every family, every team. This isn't about cancel culture, it's about consequences. So, if there's anything to take away from this story, it's this: loyalty matters, integrity matters, and the people who trust you, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, deserve better than betrayal disguised as a mistake. Because in the end, no secret is worth losing everything.